Okay, so what do we do now is we'll go into these details of these seven, um, what we can say, chariots. So the first one, we all know it, so it doesn't matter. So we can have a five precept or eight precept or 10 precept or getting into like a bhikkhu. So we can get into the Vinaya, or we can work out on Dasa Kusala. What Buddha says in many of the suttas is Vivicheva Kamehi, Vivicheva Akusala Dhammehi. So basically, it's about removing the 10 immoral deeds. Okay, so that's a primary thing. And then in the Chitta Vishuddhi, we need to attain three jhanas minimum. Reason is that if you are not calmed in the mind, you can't do the vipassana portion of it. So the vipassana is about investigation. So I can't investigate the reality because the mind is moving everywhere. So when we say the mind, what is a mind? Mind which is having six consciousness or senses or whatever we could say, which it can sense. Now the question comes where it is indicated like that. If somebody has a doubt like that, in every sutta it says chakuncha paticca rupecha upajjati chakku vinyanam. And this vinyana is the one which is having vedana, it is having sanya, it is having sankhara, nowhere else. Okay. So basically, even if you read Mahavedala Sutta, and the first question asked is, can you see it separated or can you see it all together? And Sariputta says, it is seen together. It's only for understanding sake we can have it separated. Okay. So basically, when we say panya, when we say uh, vinyana, all of that is just to make the mind itself understand rather than anything as a separation there. There's nothing to separate. Meaning you can't see five aggregates separately. It's not like you start seeing it separately. There's no separation. And never it is separated. But in wisdom it is separated. So always remember that the vinyana has to be understood and the panya has to be developed. And for that matter, the panya gets developed only in vinyana, nowhere else. It's not that something separate is going to come there and take its place. No. Okay. To do that, we need to have a stable set. It's moving. And that is called a chalam. It's completely moving. And there are many suttas where Buddha explains about this chalam, and I have mentioned that in that how to work on from rupa to everything, SN 25.1. So basically, we need to understand that eyes move with the object when the consciousness comes. Otherwise, there is nothing to move. Ear will move when the sound will come, but ear and sound are not meeting. The consciousness is making that experience. The ear doesn't physically move anywhere, nor the sound is going to come and stay in the ear. It doesn't happen that way. No sound will stay in the ear, and no sight will stay in the eyes, and no taste will remain in the tongue forever, like that. No. Because of the consciousness, because of the awareness of that object, it seems like it is there. So, in that vijnana only we should have a correction, not outside the vijnana. This aspect has to be clearly understood. So, if we start searching it somewhere, it's not going to work because we have a different languages and we put the same thing in different languages as though they are something different. Like, I will not go here. Who? Who will not go here? Now, this is language. Okay. Or I will go there. Who? Is again a language. So there's nobody going and nobody coming except in the language. But when the conscious experience happens, there is a movement from here to there. Ittha bhava, anyatha bhava. Ittha is thisness. Anyatha is otherwiseness. So there's otherwise. This becomes otherwise. Anyatha. Yatha bhavi, anyatha bhavi. So I am moving in consciousness or in the mind, not physically. You understand the point? So to get this clarity for oneself, the mind has to be removed of 10 immoral deeds. Well, that is what is just like a resistor or in a circuit. There should be a circuit breaker. Without that, doesn't make sense to have a circuit. So we should have a circuit breaker. And this jhana is that circuit breaker. Otherwise, it's continuously connecting. So we need a circuit breaker. So when I'm saying that I will sit for 1 hour, it's a language. Not that you're going to sit for 1 hour. In literal sense. If we create a literal sense of it, it's not going to work. Anything you create literally is not going to work. Why? Because there's no person there to make it work. If there was somebody, you could have nominated him saying that, hey, boss, why don't you take care of it? I want to sit for 1 hour. There is no person. It's 6 animals. And that's it. You can't dictate, hey, leg, sit for 1 hour. You say, get lost. Who the hell are you to tell me? You can't say to the nose, hey, watch the breath. You say, what is that? I know to find out the smell. That's it. You don't tell me what I should do. You better know what you should do. And there's no person there. Actually, there are no people there. If there is a person, then you can make it. So then how do we do it? Here is where Buddha says how you should do it. When he uses the word pajanati, it's a consciousness which is knowing it. Nobody else. So what happens? These 6 consciousness, eye consciousness, ear consciousness, nose consciousness, tongue consciousness, body consciousness and mind consciousness. Call for a meeting. And whoever is the strongest will take it, will take the decision. Based upon what? Based upon the pleasure. Not due to pressure, pleasure. Now, senses have pleasure. Simple. There's no argument on that. If there is no argument on that, then how do we come out of sensual then? By yoniso manasikara, by thoughtful reflection of the defect in the sensual, can be a taste, can be touch, can be smell, can be thought, like that. The mind, again, I'm very clear in saying what is the mind. It is 6 consciousness, not a single one. Okay? Please understand. Chitta to Vijnana is the same link. It's not separated. There are 9 stages. We have covered it 100 of times. So, Chitta becomes Vijnana. And when it becomes Vijnana, there are 6 Vijnanas. There is not one Vijnana. And again, in the Mahatanha Sankhya Sutta, Buddha blast that person, Sati. When did I say there's only one consciousness? The reason being the consciousness is dependent on 6 senses. Clear? Now, when this meeting is called, this meeting talks about what is the most pleasurable thing. So, you have to see what is the duccharita vipaka. Meaning, if I were to do wrong things, what is the danger? So you have to create fear. That's the only way it works. Where you have to create fear? In the consciousness, the fear is created. And this moral kind of fear takes 2 parts. One is hiri, which means moral shame, and ottappa, which is moral dread. This thing. So the agenda here is, when the 6 people meet, is how do I get pleasure? Which is piti and sukha. Both added together becomes pleasure. So how do I do it? Not pain. Sorry. It's nobody, no consciousness is willing to get pain. It wants to escape pain. You please understand that we are in Buddha Dhamma not because of pain. We are in Buddha Dhamma to seek pleasure. And it will be a foolishness to say that we are here for pain. Nibbanam paramam dukkham is not there. Nibbanam paramam sukham. So first we need to know, why are we doing what we are doing? We are behind pleasure, and consciousness knows the pleasure. There is no you to explain pleasure to the consciousness. In fact, it doesn't even know you are there. Simple. Anyway, coming back to this. When they all meet, they take the mode and means to get pleasure. Now, when yoniso manasikara comes, you start evaluating, how much pleasure did I get out of eyes? And I find very less. Ears, very less. Nose, very less. Tongue, very less. Body, very less. Mind, very less. So now, is there any other pleasure? Yes, there is. And the consciousness knows, please. It's not that it doesn't know, it knows. So, through thoughtful reflection, or whatever in English you want to call that as, yoniso manasikara, we take that. We means, I'm just saying we and I and you. There's no we, you, I, anything like that. This six consciousness then table out and say, I can take this pain for the promised pleasure. And if it is convincing, the body sense door agrees to tolerate the pain. So, as soon as it agrees, the brain impulses sends in endorphins so that the pain is masked. Just like a pregnant woman, she's in terrible pain, but because of endorphins, she doesn't feel the pain. She gets pleasure of delivering the baby. Now, that's a pleasure hormone or a chemical. It's called as happy hormones. Without endorphins, you're going to die. So, what the brain does, it generates more endorphins. So, the cortisol level comes down. Cortisol is a stress hormone. So, what happens? The endorphins increase. So, when the endorphins increase, it should make you feel good. And because of the feel good factor, there's a reward. So the dopamine starts to secrete. So when it is pleasurable, there should be someone to enjoy the pleasure. So all the six senses, meaning all the six sense consciousness, now will join together, and that is called ekatta. They become one instead of separate. They were looking separate. They were going everywhere. So now they have come together. And in togetherness, there is benefit. So what they do? They get oxytocin. So it forms a group. There's a social security in oxytocin. And oxytocin is another brain chemical that will give you the security of it because there is closeness. Okay, when oxytocin comes and when serotonin is missing, there's something which is missing. What is missing? The connectedness is missing. So serotonin is released to get that connectivity. So from a distracted mind, it has become condensed. Now what it does? It does something amazing. It now starts watching the breath. Because it is getting the pleasure. It doesn't want to get out. Why this is working? Because of the condition. What condition? We have created two conditions, necessary condition. One is vivicheva kamehi. That means I've seen the defects of the kama, the danger or the defect of the kama. And vivicheva akusala dhammehi. So I have removed the 10 immoral deeds. And due to that, the nivarana is suppressed. First nivarana is doubt. Now I'm getting pleasure, The doubts are gone. I have tremendous doubts. But for that moment, there is no doubt because I'm getting pleasure. That's all I wanted. So I feel so light. Ah, so good. Excellent. Now I'm in first jhana. I enjoy. That I is six and six consciousness. So there's no I. All of them are together. They all have come together, grouped out. So when I say I'm sitting for 1 hour meditation, why it doesn't work is one of the consciousness or other of the consciousness are in disagreement. They say, no, no, I will not do it. I will not participate. So what does it mean? After a few minutes, there is a sound. The ear consciousness runs away, taking the remaining few guys also. But that's strong. Or smell consciousness. It will take away some smell is coming of some food article. Or mind has thoughts. So the thoughts consciousness takes the remaining five of them. Or the body consciousness, because of the pain or discomfort, it pulls the remaining consciousness saying that, hey, please attend. I am in pain. Please attend to this. You stop that. Whatever your breath watching can be there after tomorrow also. First you satisfy my requirement. So I'll say, no, no, I want to see to who is you there. There is no you. That guy is gone. And suddenly hunger pang starts. So what I do? There's no you to do. You just go to the kitchen, take something, eat and come back. And that's a max you can do now. So what else can be done? So this is how the six consciousness work. So ekatta nanatta. Ekatta means as one. Ekagata is this oneness. So you have vitakka, vichara, piti, sukha, ekagata. This is the fifth one, which is seeing everything as a whole, not as an individual. At present, why are we divided? If you were to ask, each human being is divided. Why? Because the six senses are divided. If they all come together, then there is no one. It's fun. Anyway, coming back to this. As soon as I have a Sila Visuddhi, it will help me in jhana, which is Chitta Visuddhi. Now there is no constraint of sitting for 1 hour. Because, see, this 1 hour is a what? It's a nama. It's just a concept. Have you ever seen 1 hour except on the phone or on the watch or anywhere? Do you really experience 1 hour? No senses will have a 1 hour experience. When we say it's in the mind, it's just fabricated, just for understanding sake, conceptualization. So it's just a concept. So time is not real. Time is conceptual. So it can't come on a reality by itself. Meaning, I can't say, I will sit for 1 hour. Who is you to sit for 1 hour? There is no you. So what will sit for 1 hour? It's nothing. Nobody is there to sit for 1 hour. Right? So how do we convince? The convincing here is Yoniso Manasikara, where it sees the benefit of sitting for 1 hour. Let's say 1 hour sitting meditation. So then I sit and there's no I. Again, I'm repeating this every time I use I, take it as six senses. Sit, then this consciousness, sixth consciousness, now watch the breath appearing in the nostril. It should be interesting because the five of them have come together after negotiation. And they are smart buggers. If they don't get the pleasure, they will run behind pleasure. Simple. I might be sitting here. Okay, I will meditate. Who is meditating? Is gone in the wind. Or brain fog happens. How? Serotonin drops. First chemical to drop out is serotonin. If serotonin drops, they see separation. And because of that, endorphins drop. The pain comes. And nobody wants pain. You are doing it to escape pain, not to be in pain. So the pain comes. And when the pain comes, they start blaming. So oxytocin drops. And when oxytocin drops, dopamine is not secreted. It's a reward. There's nothing rewarding. You see, a 1 hour, is there a reward? There's no reward. So you're desperately waiting until oh my goodness, oh 1 hour over. Why? Oxytocin, serotonin, dopamine, and endorphins, all the four are gone, replaced by cortisol, which is a stress hormone. So I'm literally stressed and I want a break. So what does Goenkaji say? Take 5 minutes break and return back. He's like a life giver to me. 5 minutes, I got 5 minutes from this pain. So what do? I just go out, drink some water, or stand outside as though I have never taken air in my life. And just stand there. And that poor guy volunteer comes and says, Sir, please enter inside the Dhamma hall, and people will be like cattle. They are pushed inside, and the door is closed, and they sit for another 1 hour of this painful journey. Now they have given pillows. You see this fun. You have a pillow down. On top of that, there's another pillow there. And some people keep a pillow to the sides. It's a pillow company. Right? Why? Because the body consciousness says, excuse me, you're giving me pain. Okay? I will make your life uncomfortable. You're forcing me to sit for 1 hour. Okay? I will sit. Provided you give me comfort. So what the mind will do? It knows pillows because it heard that word pillow. So it searches. Eyes are saying, hey, you don't give pleasure to me. I will not give pillow to this body. Please understand. I don't care. So each one will have their own jugglery, and the mind will sense door, the mind itself, which is like a project manager, will plead, boss, please. Then they all sit. After a few minutes, There's nothing to do. Breath watching is the most boring thing to do. What is there in the breath? So the five consciousness are asking the mind, tell me what is that you want me to do? Okay, do you understand what you are doing at least? No, I'm watching the breath. But what are you getting out of it? You're right, I'm not also getting nothing out of it. So why don't we get out from this place? No, you can't. That assistant teacher is watching. Let him watch, but we can go out. No, I can't go out, but I will go out. So after a few minutes, again, you wake up. So this is the fun. Why? Because there is nothing to be gained. You see this pleasure is not there. You'll be missing the point is you can't give pain to get pleasure. You have to show the pleasure to give up the pain. It's not other way around. It's just like somebody wants to invest in the company, right? And then you should show the profits, what you're going to get. Or do you want to show the loss? And nobody will buy into it. You should show the profit, year on year sales, or whatever. And then there's investment. In the same way, you have to show the pleasure. It's high pleasure than senses. How? How? No, it is said. Who said? No, Vilas said. Who is he? But I have not got anything like that. No, Goenka has said. I believe that. No, Buddha has said, leave that. I have not got it. Show me, I'll sit here. But that's the problem. Whether we are reading Chula Dasa or this Dasa or that Dasa, it doesn't matter. The moral of the story is that unless you get pleasure, it's not going to work. Simple. What do I do? Vivicheva kamehi, vivicheva akusala dhammehi. And then the savitaka savichara happens. Because with that elimination only I can show the pleasure to the six consciousness. Boss, here it is. Now you have restrained your things and you have restrained your senses from going outside. Now, are you not getting light feeling? Yes, indeed. You're right. Why didn't you tell me earlier? I'm telling you, boss. So, dopamine comes. Reward. There is reward. Sotapanna is a reward. Please understand. Why do you want to become Sotapanna? This is a reward. So, dopamine is there. Right? So, using Hiri Ottappa, what I've done is I have created insecurity in the mind. The six senses are fearful of the consequence. You mean to say I will be reborn in a bad place? No, 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 no. I don't want to be. Now you better do what I'm saying. That's the art of negotiation, basically. Itta bhava, anyatha bhava becomes otherwise. Otherwise, oh, sorry, sir. Okay, tell me what. Sit. Sit on the pillow or no pillow. No pillow says, okay, you're going to die. Please don't use that word, you're going to die. I will do whatever you say. Sit on the floor, no problem. And brain is very, very intelligent equipment. It knows what to deliver. You just have to pinpoint it. and create a network. So when the original network is modified, it bypasses that network, and endorphins are huge in numbers. It immediately puts into the stream, take it. And fun part is my knee pain is gone. What on earth it is? It's no pain. Absolutely no pain. What's there to be pained? In fact, I'm feeling so nice. Why? Dopamine and serotonin and oxytocin. What has happened to cortisol? Gone. No stress. So the parasympathetic nervous system has taken over from the sympathetic nervous system. So what happens? Energy starts to move inside the body like a turbine. So the body starts moving like this. Oh, it's beautiful. Inside you're going like topsy turvy. And that's exactly what it wanted, to have high sensitivity pleasure. So I'm feeling like a roller coaster ride. I'm just going up. And body is moving here, there. So not outside, but inside. So I'm having that weird feeling. Now this is registered by the sixth consciousness, and they want it. Now they know that these senses, the sensual objects basically, where so when it opens his eyes after some time, still in that nice flavor. So the default mode network, what was there, is now changed from this to another. So it created a new neural pathway on which now the data is going to flow. So it has skipped a hippocampus, which had all the emotions and all the other bindings, the fear cycle, pain, and all of that is accessed. And that's where emotions are. So now it's not emotional. All of a sudden, this person seems totally brand new. Now, that 1 hour meditation, if you ask him, Vilas, did you do 1 hour meditation? He says, what? What does that mean? I said, oh, 1 hour meditation. I don't know what you're talking. Vilas, we sat for 1 hour. I don't know. It seemed like I never sat anywhere. He's not hallucinating. He's actually, the network is changed. So in the new network, cortisol is not there. So it's always in pleasure. Now, if there is pleasure, will there be a pain? No. Why? Endorphins are there. And that's what it's supposed to do. Do you feel secure without any object? Yes. Why? Oxytocin. And do you feel social? Yes. Serotonin. Do you require any kind of reward? I don't want any external reward. I have more internal reward. Dopamine. 4 key happy hormones. You can in fact search on the internet happy hormones. Try it. You'll see. Just search happy hormones and prove me if I'm wrong. Did you find? That is what making you happy. These four. That is all what it is. So first you have to make the mind stable. Any questions so far? Yes, Mrityunjay.
So this my question may be little deviation, but still I would like to ask you, sir, regarding this Annamaya Kosha, Manomaya Kosha. That means we are moving towards Manomaya Kosha, sir. But
Don't
uh,
bring kosha theory in this. It will become a mess.
oh, okay, sir.
We will take it separately, not in this. Meaning, we can take five koshas separately. There's no point in mixing. It will be like pickle and onion.
Okay, sir.
Okay, no questions. So these four happy hormones, once it is released by the brain, you don't like to go anywhere. Don't want to miss it. Tell me which person or which consciousness, which six senses would like to miss this pleasure. It's going behind pleasure. It is getting the pleasure. Why will it go anywhere? So it starts enjoying pleasure. So now that pleasure is for 3 days. The piti, it makes you so high. Why? Because the serotonin, oxytocin, endorphins hold on. Why? New network. At the time of the Buddha, the brain related science was not there, or neuroscience was not there. So, a terminology equivalent to that was used. Now that you have a nice way to see through neuroscience experiments, we can be sure of what really happens. And when you create a new neural pathway, it creates the entire platform for it. Because that will be the thing which will be used. So then what happens? Eyes, 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 will create its own circuitry to get what it wants. Ears, nose, tongue, body, mind creates accordingly. And there is synchronization because everyone is getting the pleasure. So from the left to the right, left hemisphere, right hemisphere of the brain, information is passing. So it will transcend the old network areas. And that way of transcendence happens in the prefrontal cortex. And that is where you get into a new network or a new conscious experience which is the first jhana, which when stabilized gets into the second jhana, piti. So you now have mastered the breath watching all the time. Now the concept of time is gone, because in this there's no time. So I don't have to wait for that cassette or any kind of alarms or whatever it is for my 1 hour meditation. What is that? You mean to say the dopamine is there for 1 hour, or serotonin is there for 1 hour, or oxytocin is there for 1 hour, or endorphins is there for 1 hour? Come on. And there is another chemical. Search for this. Anandamidi. Search. Anandamide. Search. It's a happy, it's a meditative hormone. And that's what gives you the bliss. Got it? Why don't you read it little and see that I'm not faking it? When we say bliss, that's a chemical which is getting released. The sukha, when it comes, is anandamidi, which flows. It just flows. It flows crazy. So the sensual joy or the happiness is only dopamine and oxytocin. Okay, what happens in the brain area? The activation is just amygdala. So in amygdala, it only strengthens craving and pleasure seeking circuits. Basically, you're seeking pleasure. So amygdala has fear of losing the pleasure. So what it does, it goes back to the same again and again and again and again and again. That's called craving, because that's the habitual pattern, because that is because of amygdala. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show it jhanic joy and happiness, where abundant amount of serotonin and endorphins are generated. So it takes the activation of prefrontal cortex and insula, and a default mode network is suppressed. This helps in enhancing the self-regulation, contentment, and mindfulness. So when I'm saying mindful, let's be mindful. It means going away from the amygdala into the prefrontal cortex. Is here, this side of the brain. Amygdala is in the back side of the brain. So this is the default mode network is inside here. So you cross it by changing the circuitry. So when I do that, I need to get into the niramisa. Why? because it's not with the sense objects. Amygdala is bypassed. So the default mode network doesn't work. It's a fundamental change. So now I know why am I doing meditation. Nobody needs to teach me meditation. What are you teaching me? What was the breath below the nostril? Are you getting any sensation here? What sensation I should get? I am not getting any sensation because I am not getting any happy hormones there. Sir, please give me Anandamidi. Can you give me that? I'll sit for hours together. In fact, the scientist who found this, we have to go and praise him because he took it from the Sanskrit book on Ananda. Because he found, wow, this is one chemical composition which changes the topology itself. Wow, what a strange thing. Okay, so my dopamine level in jhana comes down, serotonin, that is the mood, which is creating the mood and contentment, increases, endorphins, pain relief and increasing pleasure increases, oxytocin, which creates attachment and bonding to the senses, reduces. So now what happens? I am no longer seeking pleasure from external agencies. So the eyes going here, ear going there, nose going there, tongue going somewhere, given up. It's fun ride. Endless fun ride. So happy. So energy flows from every part of the body. When we say energy, what is flowing? It's a chemical outburst in the from the brain to every part of the body. So it's due to oxygenation, a lot of oxygenation. The stress not being there, heartbeats reduces. So the butterfly in the stomach is called a butterfly in the stomach because stress is completely removed. There is no stress stage at all. So now the sixth consciousness copies that. It takes a picture. It has seen it now. And it sees the sensual objects are stress. So what it does? It just drops. How? The neural network is changed. The default mode network becomes smaller and smaller and smaller just for the basic thing. And it's controlled by the new neural network. And that state is in medical science or in neural sciences called as neuroplasticity. Here you created a new network and abandoned the old one. So we are sitting in a airport or sitting in a bus terminal, sitting in a dirty environment, sitting in crematorium, or sitting in front of a dead body of your wife or husband or son or daughter or whatever dying makes nothing because there is no default mode network. Then what happens? He is just sitting there, he or she, and he uses the default mode network for a little bit thing, just a social norm. People are crying, so he should show his face to be, yeah, but internally nothing is happening. Why? He's got the pleasure. He is not a fool to give up that pleasure. He will not give. So now it's 18 to 20 hours of meditation. And that's how you make an 18 hours meditation schedule. Not by forcing, not by loosening also. So Buddha says tightening too much is also a problem, loosening too much is also a problem, because you have to be showing some results. Even in the organization, you have to show some results for your existence. You don't have to show all the results. Please show some results. Show what you can deliver. And then the organization will also assist you. Same thing, right? It's absolutely same thing. No difference. So I thought today I will take some few from the neurosciences to make it even more interesting than the boring stuff what we keep on talking of Pali and all that. Thought let me take something which is pretty nice. And that's how it works. And if you want, if you have doubt, you can go to a neuro specialist or neuroscience guy and ask, play this video and tell him whether I've told the right thing or a wrong thing. And maybe he should say yes because it's also there on the net. Or you can give a in chat gpt or whatever you would like to use and find out whatever I said is wrong or right. And that's exactly what's happening in your brain. So you can't force to sit for an hour. Never. Never it's going to happen. In your entire life, it will never happen. You'll keep on trying, you'll keep on failing because there is no pleasure got from doing it. It will not do. But a person who has got it will never leave it. Yes, Bobby.
Will I see all these hormones like increase maximum in meditation or in
No,
other?
only meditation. Only
So
in meditation.
is it scientifically this can be measured like?
Yes, there are a lot of tests done on the Tibetan monks. In fact, Dalai Lama has started one foundation because I used to follow Dalai Lama. I have learned a lot of things from Dalai Lama's experiments. There are a lot of neuroscience people who have done a lot of experiments. And
Yeah.
alpha.
So what I was saying, so that simply proves the superiority of meditation, right? Like scientifically than all other spiritual practices.
Yes, meditation done by anyone in any form is fine as long as he can break the barrier of the six sense objects. The association with six sense object has to be removed. If you do that, yes, because we have alpha, beta, theta, gamma, and delta. Five waves are there. So these wave patterns will tell you your state of your brain. Okay, so when it moves from one dimension to another dimension, it shifts. The energy also shifts along with that. meaning energy, as in the case of electrical impulses, shifts along with that. So there's a shift in your way of seeing things. So that part of the brain will start to emit, like when they test it, this side it'll start more and more and more, and then there is a reduction of activity in the back. And there are a lot of experiments. In fact, they have done it on rats to check on craving. In fact, Dalai Lama's one neurosurgeon is there. He has done a beautiful one. He they have created one lab experiment where they have shown a rat, and what they do is, I mean, there's a particular kind of rat, not the normal rats. They're typical medical rats where they test. So what they do is they give a sugar, and then it keeps on eating sugar. So it knows, oh, there's a sweet. Sugar means candy, not the sugar as a. So it takes a candy. Next time they give a shock to the rat when it eats the candy. Second time they again give a shock when it start to take the candy. Third time it will not touch the candy at all, because it remembers the shock. Hiri and Ottappa is that shock. You got the point. See, the same thing is happening. We are naming it as Hiri and Ottappa, and we are calling it as Yoniso Manasikara. If you really see, all that is related to brain mapping only, right? Basically. Right? So now, Hiri and Ottappa, what it will do to you? Whatever they have done on the experiment on that rat, where they given the external stimulus, where it goes like this, and it's almost taking that, it will do that. Then after some time, that sugar thing, candy is there, and it's scared. So it first goes here, there, touches once like this, no shock and all that, and again goes back. Now this time it goes to catch it, and third time it drops. Completely drops, Bobby. It's such a nice experiment. They have not given any shock after that. It stops candy forever. That's how it registers. So what happened? The default mode network, and it is scientific. You can check about default mode network from anywhere if you want. That is changed. So it no longer tracks the default mode network. So there's a disconnection of the network itself. So basically, whenever it sees the candy, it sees the shock. So what is Buddha saying of the 10 immoral deeds? He's saying, go to the Vipaka, Duccharita Vipaka Sutta. What it says, if you do this, you get this. You do this, you get this. You do this, you make it like a shock treatment. Will you do? No. It's like that. Now you will start into meditation, because this is gone. It becomes easy now. So your alpha waves will start to increase. The moment alpha waves increases, it will generate serotonin, and then the beta waves and the gamma waves and the delta waves, like that.
So Vilashi, in many meditation sessions, we have experienced a lot of happiness and bliss. So by then mind remembers that, right? Then
Yes.
Why sometimes again the meditation is sometimes very boring?
Sometimes it's very boring because that some other thing has taken over, like Kamachanda has taken over, or Vyapada has taken over, or Thinamida has taken over, Udachakukuch has taken over, Visikich has taken over. What do you mean by Nivarna? So let's understand from a brain perspective. It's some coloring which has come, which is breaking that circuit. Now this circuit is moved. Now, how do you connect it? Easy thing, Bobby. You just bring a doubt. That's it. You're in the next moment that is gone. Just a small doubt. Is this there in Buddha Dhamma? And sit. You see the restlessness which starts coming because the network is blocked. See, before we go into the even the closed eyes meditation, we should make sure there is no doubt. You sort out the doubt beforehand, not after getting into the act, beforehand, or suppress the doubt. You're saying that no, I'm sure I'm going to get the pleasure. So you to get premeditated before meditation. You premeditate. I'm going to get it. So then there's no doubt. The moment doubt is not there, restlessness will go down, and the remaining things will follow.
Okay, thank you, Vikas.
Sure. And the first thing we need to get in life is endorphins. This, please remember this. It's a pain suppressing chemical. And then only that excitement is there. You want to sit for meditation? Yes, 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 I'm coming. Otherwise, meditation, 9:40 now. I have one small meeting. Let's start. Why? I know for sure no dopamine will come. There's no reward. Bobby, we all work for rewards. Please. All of us. Sotapanna is a reward. Sakadagami is a reward. Anagami is a reward. Arhat is a reward. And the highest reward is dopamine being there all the time is Arhat. It's not going to go away, Bobby, just because we say so. No, reward is there. Without reward, nobody will work. Because that is natural. So brain doesn't work. You do whatever you want. There's no you. So there's only 6 consciousness fighting with itself, and that's it. What it'll do? Nothing can be done. So first thing is the endorphins has to get released into the bloodstream. It will suppress the pain everywhere. It will morph it. You feel so pleasure. See, Bobby, even during, let's take for all kindness, sexual intercourse. It's painful. How much amount of lubrication it has to generate is dependent on endorphins. Otherwise, if it is the skin is dry, it cuts and it bleeds. So it has to ensure the amount of lubrication. Who is doing it? The brain is doing it because it's getting pleasure. So the 6 consciousness have made sure the brain supplies enough chemicals for that act. Otherwise, not possible. It's painful. It's literally painful. Not just painful. It's literally painful. And look at a pregnant woman. She wouldn't be interested in becoming pregnant. She knows that it's going to be so painful in life. But there is pleasure of having a child. And then the pressure mounts up after the child is grown. That is separate. But there's a pleasure of having a child. So she will undergo the highest amount of pain. It's excruciating pain. It's just not measurable. But she gets pleasure out of that pain. You can't even imagine it. You'll see, is this woman stupid? But why she gets pleasure? She's getting endorphins. She feels socially accepted, serotonin. She feels moods, oxytocin. She gets dopamine. There's a reward. The child is a reward. Hey, see the, oh, my baby. That's the reward, right? And this is what is happening inside. So, why she becomes pregnant again? Have you ever thought which idiot wants to become pregnant again? If there were no pleasure, just like the rat taking that candy, this woman takes the pain again to get the second child. And if persisted, she is ready for the third child, and fourth child, and fifth child, maybe 10th child, maybe 20 child, maybe 30 children. I don't know how many. Why? It's there in all mammals. They take the same pain. All have endorphins. The brain will release endorphins. You see the amount of dogs which comes from the back: one, two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, nine puppies coming from that small hole, and it just becomes big. How is it possible? It's because of endorphins. So, and when we can sit on the mat for endless, like Sajal can sit for 6 hours, 8 hours, whatever that hours, it's because he's getting endorphins, and there's a reward. So he will tell you, Bobby, I sat for 8 hours. That's an dopamine. Okay, so he has dopamine, he has serotonin, he is socially accepted, right? So he feels, I'm doing such a great thing. So serotonin, oxytocin, then endorphins. Cortisol level is removed, so he doesn't feel stressed. So when we went to Dhammagiri, you were having pain. And he was sitting, and he will say, don't disturb me. Why? Because his chemicals will stop. If you walk, he will say, don't walk. Why? Because his chemicals will stop. So he, no, Bobby. Why did you make a sound? You will say, boss, my legs are paining. What are you talking? You will sit. Why he can sit for 8 hours? It's not that he can sit for 8 hours. He has his sixth sense consciousness have found a way to manipulate the brain where it can constantly supply endorphins. That's all what it is, Bobby. And because of that, a little amount of anandamidi is released in the bloodstream. So that person feels blissed out. You can get the same effect while walking. Why should you sit? Same effect, absolutely same effect, no different. You can get it in standing. You can get it in sleeping. It's the same thing. It's not only sitting. It's a chemical. You'll get the same chemical everywhere. What's so great about it? What's so great about sitting? Nothing. If you can create these chemicals, you're done. All that I require is not having any cortisol. Okay, I'll remove cortisol. That's it. So my problem has gone down. If with my leg, I shouldn't be sitting for long hours. So can I not walk? Yes. Can I not stand? Yes. Can do it. Anyway, good thing. So this is what is Chitta Visuddhi. Now you've given up the six sensual object. So the senses are not going behind the object. It's taking the fun part inside itself. It's self-generating. So now there's no point in going out. So eyes will not run, ears will not run, nose will not run, tongue will not run, body will not run, mind will not run. It starts generating inside. And now you're ready for the third one, which we will take it on Monday, which is Dhitti Visuddhi. Okay, should we end today?
Yeah, thank you, Vilashi. It is a beautiful explanation.
Thank you.
I think this Rathavineetasutta Goenkaji explains in long courses, but your explaining is more detailed and understand.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sarvan Saranai.
Sarvan Sarnai, and good day to everyone, and good afternoon and good evening, Anusha.